saying. All right, we're back. I had to get off the stream because we're having connectivity issues. So we'll see if this is better. For those of you just joining, I was in the middle of doing my competition prep squat routine, and it has reported to have connectivity issues, technical support. So I canceled the stream and I started a new one up. And right now I got 475 on the bar. We got some work to do. 50 years old, 220 pounds. And I will be attempting to squat 3.5 times my body weight in competition. Two, 4, 6. Not quite 3.5. Yeah, about 3.5 times my body weight. 2, 4, 6. Right. I hate these sleeves. I love them, but I hate them. Easy peasy. All right, that's my last warm-up set. Now it's time for my working sets. Whew. Okay. First set. 545 for 3 reps. I guess people were having streaming issues. They couldn't hear me. The screen was narrow or some weird shit. So I just started a new one. Are you on steroids? Yes. It's a complicated question. But yeah, essentially. How did that one look, Mikey? Felt good. Felt really good. Dude, the hardest part about squatting is walking out. All right, let's get our first set on there. Running out of weights. Yeah, I tried to go a little bit farther than competition depth. I wanted to just dunk it a little. But what can happen is, like, so say you're squatting, right? Here's your hip crease, and here's your knees. So the hip crease has to be below the knees, right? So pretend your feet are here. Up and down, right? Okay. So the barbell, depending on where it's at, the farther up it is, it's going to find a straight line, a straight path. So if you have it lower on your shoulders, that brings you forward. So when you hit depth, so what can you do? You can put the bar a little bit higher on your back, not like a high bar, but cheat it up a little, and that brings your center of gravity back a little. So now oh, cool. So imagine your feet are here, no depth, here, depth, just by moving the weight a little bit on your back. It just sets you back farther into it. Now, what can happen? Well, the farther back you are, the more quad dominant the lift is, because your moment arm of leverage is between your hips and your knees. So, like a high bar squat, if you notice, knees are more over toes, you're using your quads more. You're a low bar squatter, so you want to use your hips. If you cheat that bar up too far, it means you're not going to lift as much. You're going to lose some strength. That's why I like to train with the camber bar, because what the camber bar does is, on your back already, it moves the center of gravity forward, which sets you way back, making it a more quad dominant lift. I train with the camber bar. That way, when I switch to the regular competition bar, I already have that base of strength built in. It's kind of like cheating. Not cheating, but like gaming your training. A lot of guys do it differently. They'll use bands, they'll use chains, things of that nature. I find if you just rotate between the squats, back squat, front squat, high bar squat, maybe Zerchers are good. That trains your entire moment arm, your quads and your glutes. And if you can figure out your squat stance so that you fire equally from the hips and the quads at the same time, you're going to have a super powerful squat. Essentially, what rack brand and specs is that? Oh, hell, I don't know. B-ball, this rack's older than I am. Hell. You talking about old Bessie here? Whee! Oh, no, it's going to fall. I actually check it. I tighten it up like once a week. It ain't going anywhere. This is a Powerhouse. I don't even know if they sell this brand. It is, what gauge steel is that? I don't know. What I did is I modified the J hooks. So this is too long, right? So what I did is I cut it right here and I bent it up. But now you got super thin steel. You set the weight on it, it's just going to crumple like a tin can. So how did I fix that? I ran a lag bolt right through the middle of it, so it keeps it from spreading out. And I've literally been using this for 10 years. I haven't had a problem yet. Now, you know what they say, everything works great until it doesn't. You can say, man, my Taurus ran perfectly until yesterday. What'd you do to it? Well, I hit a fucking tree. No, it doesn't work. Could my rack fail? Maybe. I don't know. I've had it for 10 years. It doesn't seem to be an issue. It is a little wobbly, but whatever. What's the worst that could happen? I could die, maybe? I don't know. Steven Sullivan, Super 5, brother. Never thought of that. Jeez, you got this stuff down to a science. So I act like a bro science guy because it's easier. But I'm actually a USPA certified strength coach. So what I specialize in is not programming. I'm not a trainer. I specialize in biomechanics. So like kinesiology, that kind of thing. So what we do is we find your body type and we'll like take video of you from the side and we'll get, I'll put it through my barbell tracker, which is an app I use, and it'll actually track your barbell. It'll tell you if you have any inefficiencies in your plane of motion. It'll show you the force you're generating. It'll show you the velocity. It'll show you sticking points. Then we can look at your leverages, like you consider. So in a lever, you are a super schizoid, we'll call it, with a fulcrum, which is your feet. Your feet is the fulcrum of the lever. You are the lever. Now, you have one joint two joints, and your back is basically there to hold the weight. That is what it's for. We change leverages depending on the distance between your moment arm, your kneecap and your hip joint is the moment arm of the lever. So that's what we adjust, either knees farther over toes or more back. Now, most people, especially my age, have issues with knee and ankle mobility, which is why we use squat shoes that elevates your feet and it's a little easier, it generates another inch or two of ankle mobility for you. That's why when people squat, they use those squat ramps that look like, as a matter of fact, I would demonstrate squat ramps. Normal squat, this is as far over my toes as I can get. Ow! That's ass to grass right there. Oh, that hurts. Now let's do it with a ramp. Whee! Look at that. Look how much far straighter I can get my back now. Zip. So that ramp brings you forward, which allows you to get straighter, and it helps. It changes your leverages. So that's why I look at the human body as a system of leverages. That's why when you're doing low bar squat, you have the barbell across your delts, this little shelf right here, and you break at the hips. You're going to come straight down. My head and my butt should be straight. So you're not doing this, you're not doing this. You see a lot of guys that do this. No. It should be a straight line. Boom. Now if I'm doing a high bar squat, which is the bar on top of the traps, I'm going to break at the knees first. Hips for low bar, knees for high bar. And go boom, straight down. Now where's my limiting factor? Look at my feet coming up off the ground. So we want to have flat feet. That's why I love watching Olympic lifters, because that's all they do. They get their knees way over their toes and they collapse like an accordion. It's a thing of beauty. That's a lot hard. That's harder for older guys. We've had knee surgeries. You busted your ankle on the job site 100 times. You know, we're messed up. We got arthritis, sciatica. The list goes on. So we gotta find what works. Yeah. Green screen. I should get one of those. That'd be cool. What would I do with it though? That makes sense. That's cool. I wonder if I got some uneven shit going on. Well, here's what we can do for you, Mikey. Take a video of you squatting or whatever your lift is. Bench press too. We can dissect that. And if you can find a way to send it to me, I will run it through my software, and I'll generate a video so you can actually see what you're doing specifically. And then from there, we can tune you in and maybe we'll do a video chat or something. Hey man, I recently went from 275 to 211. My goal's 185. Damn, you're killing it. The Gibbon. No, I mean, look, you're already doing it. You know that there's no such thing as an easy button, a shortcut. If there's easy gains, they're easy to lose. You know, an extreme example, I could go do a pound of crystal meth and probably drop 20 pounds in 4 days. What's going to happen? I'm going to gain it right back, right? Most of it's water weight, so you want those nice, slow, steady gains over time so that one, the weight stays off, and two, you don't lose too much strength, because I'm assuming you're training while you're losing weight. So what I wound up doing, I got really sick, and I had to drop a weight class from 220 to 198. Obviously, I lost a lot of strength. I went from right around a 1,500 pound total to a low 1,400 pound total. That's almost 100 pounds through 3 different weights: bench press, squat, deadlift. So two paths for me. I could either gain my weight back up to 220 and try to get that strength back, or what I chose to do was stay at 198 and get as strong as I was at 220. I got strong at 198, and then when I went up to 220, I was even stronger. So what's the point? What am I suggesting here? What if you're losing weight? Try to get as strong as you can at that weight you've lost. You're going to lose some strength, but you'll get it back. You'll gain it back. I hit 315 bench in high school with 210 body weight. You have good genetics. I would say so. If you can hit 315 as a man, regardless of weight, that puts you in the top 5 percentile of humans on the planet. This is untrained or trained. So of the billions of people on this planet, if you can bench 315, you're in the top 5 percentile. You're actually even higher than that. It's more like 2%. So 2% of the men on the planet can bench 315. And then when you get on YouTube, it makes it seem like everybody does it. It's very rare. Any gym you walk into in the United States, if you're hitting 3 plates, you're likely the strongest guy in the gym that day. I can assure you, man, it took I couldn't hit 3 plates when I was in high school. I don't even know if I could do 135, to be honest with you. What's up, sweetheart?
No, just grabbing peas.
Are you getting more ice cream?
No, grabbing peas.
Oh, peas? Okay.
Peas.
My bad. Some of us didn't do too much book learning. What's up, Ryan? What are you talking about? Fools. Let me go back and read Ryan's comments. Ryan, I'm not seeing any comments from Ryan that are worthy of talking about. Sorry, buddy. If you're a troll and you say something clever, I'll shout you out. I'll read the comment, even if it's at my expense. But you have to say something that's kind of clever. Like, you didn't make the cut, brother. Sorry. Moving on. My pops used to say there's no such thing as a stupid question, just stupid people. Another minute or two here. Let me pull these off. The only thing I hate about these knee sleeves is they cut off my circulation. These are Helix sleeves. These are the best powerlifting sleeves you can buy. But they are also the most uncomfortable. They hurt to wear. They're super stiff. They cut off your circulation. I normally train in SBDs, which is, I think, considered the standard for powerlifting. These will be similar to Inzers, but I think they're shaped better. They'll add 15, 20 pounds to your squat. What do you think about bringing all the Palestinians to America? That's a conversation I could get into, but I'm going to pass on that one just because of it's a complex issue. Ryan says, dang it. Now, come on, you can do better than that, Ryan. I have faith in you. Have you ever got knocked out in a fight? No, I've never. Oh, yeah, I did actually. Yeah, I've had my nose broke 4 times. And I did get knocked out. Yeah. I woke up on my way to the hospital to get my nose reset. And so that was lights out. That one I actually did get a concussion. Benched 500 pounds on the Smith machine with 2 slingshots. My butt in the with the So b-ball journey. All joking aside, I used to belong to this group called Powerlifters and Bodybuilders. It's a Facebook group, and there was this lifter. I think his name was Carl. I can't remember, but he used to do a 5-plate bench on a Smith machine, and hey, if that's what you got to work out with, cool. 5 plates on a Smith is not a light lift. I don't care what you say, that's still a lot of weight. But he had a slingshot on, so now I'm looking at this like, okay, you're on a Smith machine with a slingshot. How much weight is that? Is that even 315? It's like, at what point? Or you see the guys, like, they got 7 plates on the squat, but they've got like 5 bands on each side. It's like, what are you even squatting? Serious question. What do the knee sleeves do for your lift? Just more support? Okay, so I use three different types of sleeve, Joshua. So these are all the same thickness, incidentally. This is the Jim Reaper sleeve, all-purpose sleeve. It's flexible, it's stretchy, it's comfortable, and it's got just enough compression where if you're an older lifter like me, you probably have a lot of joint pain, whether you lift or not. Having a little bit of compression relieves that pain, and it makes it really easy to get mobile. So if you have problems bending your knees, put some sleeves on, all of a sudden you can go ass to grass, no issue. How does it work? Hell if I know, but it does. Awesome. These will not give you any support for your lift at all. They just keep your knees warm. They keep your joints from ossifying. You know, we work out and you sit down for 10 minutes and everything just kind of solidifies and you're like, ugh, ugh. These keep you warm and limber. Good, awesome. Now, don't really help with squatting though. When I say help with squatting, I mean they don't give you a mechanical advantage. These are the standard SBD, same thickness, a little bit tougher. So if we compare the two, these are floppy, these are stiff, right? These, you size them down one. So if you're a large, get a medium. If you're an extra large, get a large. These will give you a mechanical advantage. These will actually give you 5 pounds on your squat. They're so tight that when you bend them, the pull of the material is assisting you on the way back up, much like a bench shirt, we'll say. They still consider this raw because it's negligible. The amount of mechanical advantage is negligible, but still needs to be acknowledged. 5 pounds is 5 pounds, right? These motherfuckers, these are the same thickness. They are 5 times as dense. No give whatsoever. You can't pull them apart. They hurt. When I put them on, they are stiff. And the weight of my body with the weight on the back forces them to bend. And they do provide spring. So how much weight can you do more with these? I would say maybe 15, 20 pounds. So, and these are competition legal. The USPA and the USAPL, once a year they'll do a list of legal gear for competition, and because if they make sleeves that are just they give you so much mechanical advantage that they're considered wraps, not legal for raw lifting. This is about as good as you're going to get before you upgrade to wrapping your knees. I highly suggest them for any serious power lifter that wants to break a record and maybe just needs a little extra. These will do it. They suck. They're hard to put on. They're impossible to take off. They hurt. They cut off your circulation. They're fucking terrible. Staff Sergeant Reckless. He was the horse in the Korean War. Let's see. I go to a regular commercial gym and there are multiple 405 benchers there all the time. Is that normal? No. God, you got some monsters at your gym. I train at Iron Addicts, which is a powerlifting gym, and almost everybody, it seems like, can bench at least 405 pounds. Like, I was the little guy in the corner, like, clanging the little change weights, tink, 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 and you got these big fucking apes over there just slinging 6 plates like it's nothing. I'm like, oh, God, look at Stan Efferding used to train there. Stan Efferding. One day we were deadlifting. I had 5 plates on the bar. I was feeling really good about myself. That's 585 pounds. And I ground it out for an ugly single. He pulls up, walks in the gym, says hi to the owner, comes over to us and says, hey, do you mind if I work in with you guys? Stan Efferding. Sure, buddy. Without warming up, he gets on the bar, hits it for a set of 10, and then leaves. And we're all staring at each other like, wow. Like, damn. Eric Spoto used to train there. He's the one that helped me with my bench form. So you guys see me with the arch on my bench and the way I hold my elbows, and I got my feet tucked under me, and you're like, that doesn't count. That was Eric Spoto that taught me that. The world raw bench press record holder up until 2016, I think. He had a 733-pound raw bench. Yeah, that dude, his arms were bigger than my legs. Who else used to train there? Dan Martin was Ed Cohn's training partner. He's a USPA international judge. He trains there. Yeah, it was a cool gym. Someone at SD. Ha! Looking's free SD, but touching will cost you. Can you play push 50? I don't know what that is. Dude's making my toes curl. Mr. Wonderful, how you doing, brother? Zyro, what's up? How much weight's on the bar? 545 pounds. Thoughts on Julius Maddox bench form? Well, it's kind of hard to argue with the all-time world raw bench press record holder, but you kind of do wonder why he hasn't progressed past where he's at. Because when I watch him train, he'll do like 90% of his 1 rep max, which is like 700 pounds plus for reps. And you're thinking, damn, look at this guy. And he works right up to that 95%, and he makes it look effortless. So why can't he put more weight on the bar? It baffles me. There's something I think that he's not doing right. And but who am I to say? The other problem is when you diagnose guys that big, it's really hard. They're so enormous. Like they can't use normal benches like we use. Like Eric Spoto had a Spoto bench, and it was literally 4 inches wider than a normal one. They're huge dudes. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's hard to look at what he's doing and say that it's wrong or it can be improved. I've paid really close attention to what he did when he broke the record, and I watched that bench press, and I watched the way he's training, and I can't help but feel like his lifts are really arm heavy, and they take a lot of the pectoral muscles out of it. So you're kind of shooting your arms out. I can't help but wonder what would happen if he added deficit range of motion bench press to his what do they call them, lengthened parcels? Like when I use the camber bar and it goes like, here's a normal bench press, the camber bar is down here. I'm wondering if he did a little bit more work in this area, if it would help his. But who am I to say? Like the dude's probably got elite level trainers working with him. Eric Spoto's awesome. When COVID shut the gym down, everybody kind of went their own way. And I think Eric Spoto is doing arm wrestling now. I'm not sure. I haven't kept up with him because I haven't seen him in a few years. The reason I started training at home is because COVID shut all the gyms down. And we had a nice team. It was an Iron Addicts powerlifting team. And Iron Addicts is the guy, who's the guy? Still you motherfucking sit. What's his name? Him and Kelly Muscle used to come in there and they do these strict arm, or these curl competitions all the time. What was his name? Really interesting guy. High energy. You know what he said? I was walking down my buddy was walking with me, and he's a big dude. He weighs like 350 pounds. And we walk around the corner, and he's standing there, and he goes, "Look at this sidewalk cracking motherfucker." I was like, what was his name? Has anybody banned me yet? No, why would anyone ban you, Wet? Your family. Why would you think I would ban you? I look forward to your commentary. Currency Center, what's up? CT Fletcher, thank you. Yeah. It's funny, if you guys ever watched CT Fletcher's older videos when he was a powerlifter, he used to talk, he was really mild-mannered, and he would say, "This is what you need to be a natural bench presser." And it was just a really happy, like, Mr. Rogers. And then 10 years later, it's like, "It's still your set, motherfucker. One more, you..." Like, holy shit, okay, I'm still going. My arms really hurt. Should I see a doctor? Like... He'd look at his arms and scream at him to grow. Yeah, that was his. He didn't own that gym. It was his name on it. kind of like Trump used to put his name on everything, but they weren't necessarily his properties. But it was affiliated to him, so he would you could buy his T-shirts, and the guys would show up once a month, and they would do like little uh, competitions in the gym, and it was like him, Callie Muscle, before Callie turned into a retard. Who else? Who else would show up with those guys? Dana Lynn Bailey, and her husband. I forgot what his name is. Obviously, who was the other guy? There was a couple of big gorillas that used to come in there. They were the strong arm dudes, and they would do the one-handed grip thing. The competitions with those big, just giant guys with huge hands. It's the opposite of Bob Ross. Went from Air Force drill instructor to painter. Yeah, the mutants. Oh, and then Rich Piana and his 5%ers. Now, Rich Piano is the coolest dude ever. I like that guy a lot. But his 5%ers are all jackasses. Like, they're just a bunch of infantile egomaniacs. If I'm ever big enough, they'll look back at this video and be like, why is this guy talking shit? If you guys don't like, I love these sparkling ice. It's like flavored water. All right, let's do it. First working set. Let me tinkle real quick. Right, here we go. If anybody wonders, why do we wear wrist wraps when we squat? I'll tell you. So, when you're under the bar, and you got it across your traps, you actually lock the bar in with the palms of your hands. So when you pick it up, your hands it literally can't go down your back because your palms are jammed into it. And it can do a couple things. It can cause tendonitis in your biceps. So a lot of guys wear sleeves. And actually, I was thinking about putting one on, to be honest with you. And it can be really rough on your wrists. Dr. Smegma Jones. That's an awesome name. He was actually natural, believe it or not. Everything was sourced naturally. Let me see here. Like watching a scary movie. Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, he was. Here. Now he had didn't he have a heart transplant? The screen is fixed. Yeah. Have you ever had horse meat? Yes. It's a little greasy. I don't really like it. I'm a guy that has a hard time eating pets. We have chickens. And you think, well, you eat a lot of chicken. I do, just not mine. They all have names. They all have personalities. We hold them. We play with them. Somebody put little hats on them and stuff. I can't do it. They're like my family. You ever tried bear? Yes. When guys went on a hunting trip and I tried, I want to say black bear, and it was gross. I don't think we're supposed to eat predators. I don't think predators are supposed to eat other predators. It's just a feeling I have. Like for some reason, predator meat is really gross, and you can get a lot of things like prions and all sorts of weird disorders from eating, like a panther, for example. Have you ever had frog legs? Oh God, yeah. We used to eat frog legs by the basketful. Christina, what was that place we used to go to get frog legs? Was that Hush Puppies? Oh, the wind's blowing my door closed. Hold on here. There we go. Hush Puppies, I believe. All right, here we go. Get the screen good? Okay. Come on, baby. First set in the bank. All right, next is 550, so I gotta add 5 pounds. Oh, that's why I felt off. Come on. God, I hate these fucking things. If I don't pull them down, I can get my circulation cut off. Yeah. Where did my screen go? There we go. That was 545. Now I got 550 on there. So, Candy Toad just got married 2 days ago. The squat rack is requesting assistance. Yeah, I've had old Bessie there for a while. Mr. Little Legs. That's heavy. You're the man. Keep it up. Thanks, Zach. How many weight? How many weight? 545 pounds. Who wears short shorts? Dun, 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 dun. That was Nair, right? If you wear short shorts. You ought to see my singlet. You're sexy. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Strength. Nair, hell yeah. Mark Taylor, Semper Fi, brother. Age 50 versus Nick 3. Who's Nick 3? That rat gonna need a sway bar. Dude, that rack's 10 years old, man. That thing ain't going anywhere. Boozy the Clown, you're better than me. I don't think so. I don't think the amount of weight you can lift determines if you're better than somebody. You might be able to lift more, but it's all relative too. There's something funny I notice about YouTube lifters. The strongest lifters usually have the budget equipment. Well, some of the guys, I know, right? Like I got most of this from estate sales. The only thing I spent money on was the barbells. I think if you're going to spend money, that's what you should spend money on. You need a nice deadlift bar, a nice power bar. The equipment you will actually compete with. Now, there's some guys that say you shouldn't train with what you compete with because, like, a deadlift bar gives you an advantage. It's flexible, so you can lift a little bit more with a deadlift bar. It's got better grip. It's it's easier to hold. But here's the problem: if you compete with, like, say, a kabuki bar, but you train with a power bar, the one thing that it won't train you for is the whip, meaning as you pull off the floor, the bounce of the whip of the weight, it can actually pull you out of the groove if you've never used a deadlift bar. So a good strategy is to do a lot of deficit deadlifting, which we do, and train with the equipment that you're going to use in competition so that you're familiar with it. But there's a lot of merit to, like, using disadvantaged equipment, because the thought process is if you use shitty equipment that's substandard, when you go to compete, it'll feel so much easier. And it does. I swear to God, when I go lifting on the platform, everything feels like 100 times easier. I don't know if it's the adrenaline. I don't know if it's like just the atmosphere. But I feel like I could, at the weight I was struggling with in the garage feels like warm-up weight when I'm on that platform. But, in all seriousness, I actually do check the rack once a week. I make sure all the bolts are snug on it. Oh, yeah, my singlet gives me camel toe. I get the cheapo equipment, but I plan to get some Rogue stuff for aesthetics and safety features once I get my money right. Oh, yeah, I like Titan Fitness. So what Titan does is they rip Rogue off. They steal all of Rogue's design. The only difference is, because it all comes from China, it has to be boxed and packaged. So where Rogue welds a lot of their stuff, Titan bolts it. This thing right here. Yeah. I do have spotter arms, though. Those little things right there, I will not lift without those. Is a lifter allowed to lift with a cup? I really don't know. I'll have to ask. I ain't got time to bleed. The governor. Hey, what do you say? Oh, come on. Now we're talking about Predator quotes. He had some of the best ones, too. Jesse Ventura. Charlie's a lifter allowed to lift with a cup if the lifter chooses to. Yeah, I'll have to find out. I actually do have the rule book. It's on my phone. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's ever used a cup before. But why would you need one? Sonic or Mario? Ooh, I gotta go with Mario. Even though I don't like the way Nintendo licenses and does business, I'm gonna say I've enjoyed many more Mario games than I have Sonic games. But Sonic's still badass. A good weighted vest is great. Yeah, the weighted vests come in really handy. They're definitely good to have. But you know what you could do? I got the work vests, like for all you boys that are in construction, you got your sexy work vest, right? Well, what do you got in this thing? Pockets, a pocket that goes all the way across the back. You could literally put 50 or 60 pounds in this thing, and then you got a cheap weight vest. Ta-da! I could fill this thing up with nuts, bolts, washers, dumbbells. I can put little dumbbells in the pockets. It's called get her done with what you got. But then there's an argument to also like, and Bobby kind of. So I had this thing where I only worked out with shit I had in my garage. It was kind of a theme, like working out cheap. And Bobby started buying me like proper belts for doing weighted pull-ups and dips. And the price of it on Amazon's so cheap. It's like, it's kind of, the argument is like, for as inexpensive as this stuff is now, like the weighted vests and the different belts and things, why not just spend the money and get the proper equipment? There's like a man thing. It's like, I'll tie a rope around my waist and use a carabiner and just say, screw it, let's do this. Dug in like an Alabama tick. Am I natural? No, I am not natural. I'm about as natural as a Nature Valley granola bar. Boozy the Clown. Hell yeah. Maybe I need a bigger singlet because mine hugs me too hard. Well, there's some guys say that a tighter singlet gives you a tiny little advantage when you're doing squats. I don't know. It's risk reward. 54, bring it now. I built an 8-foot pull-up bar in the backyard with Pops. That's awesome. So what'd you do, like 4x4s and run some gas pipe through it? I do pull-ups right from this thing. I like these grips here, or I'm just hanging right off of this. No, I'm not going to test my luck by putting another 220 pounds on the rack. But yeah, I mean, I had a pull-up bar in the garage, and it was one of those pull-up dip combination racks. But I found that most days when I was doing supersets, I would just do them right off the rack anyway. So I thought, well, it's kind of one of those things where I need room for something. So something had to go. And I just decided to get rid of that. But I kind of wish I'd have kept it. But, building one in the backyard sounds like a good idea, Zyro. I think I might do that. Just build a little pull-up station. I'll do a 2-tiered one for the kids and me. And then I would only need 3 4x4s because they could connect to each other. And the chickens can perch on it. You're a Marine. Goddamn right, Jack. Semper Fi, brother. No, there's no such thing as was a Marine. The only was a Marine are the ones that passed away, and even they're still watching us from heaven. Chesty Puller surrounds us like the Force. Were you a good soldier? I was not a soldier. Calling a Marine a soldier is akin to fighting words, but most people aren't aware of that, so I usually give civilians a pass on it. Hip adductor. What about it, Ken? Talk to me. I have some imbalances, Kenneth, so if you see anything, you point it out. Like, I'm aware I have a curve in my spine. I had the major back surgery. I have my left leg is stronger than my right. You see the bar kind of is not always straight, so I do have some imbalances I'm working with. Damn right, Wet Shark. What a great name. Ian. I use a fence post as the bar, like a 2.5 inch, way thicker than normal. Nice. Oh, so you went with a really thick one. Does it have like knurling on it, or is it just like a regular bar? Sorry to hear about that, Boozy the Clown. It's one of those things where, while it has been a major limitation, because it caused me to have to stop competing for almost 2 years, it's taught me so much about the human anatomy, because up until that point, I really was a bro lifter. I didn't really care about how the body worked. And I had to really, really become an anatomy expert so I could sort myself out. Like if you would have asked me what the piriformis was, 5 years ago, I would have looked at you like, what are you babbling about? That small muscle that causes abduction, and then you got your rectus femoris, which is the long head of the quads, and that's how you can lift your leg up straight. Things like, the bicep tendon that goes up into the labrum, and there's 2 connection points, and sometimes when you have shoulder pain, it's actually your bicep. I had to really, really learn about anatomy. And then my wife being a biology major, as well as one of the best board certified massage therapists I've ever seen and met in my life. She was able to help me like really progress my level of knowledge, and it's what is the point I'm trying to make? I've been able to help so many other people because of the injuries we've had, and it's kind of pointed me in the direction of when I stop powerlifting, I'm going to dedicate myself to physical therapy so I can help other people that are, you know, especially like older guys that are trying to get started again or maybe have some limitations. People that, you know, maybe can't squat, they can't get depth, or you have problems bending over to pick something up off the ground, you know. Like, we want to help improve the quality of life, and like people that are stuck in chairs and they want to get ambulatory, you can do it. But sometimes it's not just that simple. Sometimes people have major injuries and issues and nerve impingements and all sorts of messed up crap. They got fused discs in their back and, you know, all sorts of shit. And it's a complicated chess game trying to get the human body to work again when so much of it's been broken over the years, you know. But you can do it. I think you have to wash the USA flag. No, hell no. I got a... where is it at? Oh, what a night. I got a brand new one I got to put up. But my son's going to take that one and burn it in a flag ceremony for the Boy Scouts. But until then, it's not going to touch the ground. Kevin, let's see here. Stop clip farming. You know what, Kevin? You got this thing you can do where you swipe your finger up. Nice. You guys didn't have to delete his message, though. He didn't say anything offensive. Kick this slow. I would just flip them. Dude, kick this slow. I just flip him a gentle kiss. Yeah, it's all good. You know me. I'm looking for trolls that are clever. If you say something funny, we'll have a good laugh together. I mean, Kevin's like maybe sub 90 IQ. He can type, so he can at least use a keyboard. He was repeating. Oh yeah, okay. Are you a legal immigrant? Sure. See what I mean? See what I mean by stupid troll comments? I can't make something funny out of that because I can't respond in a way that's smart ass, like a mic drop moment. It's so dumb. It's like roses are red. You know, like looking cute, bro. Thank you, Mr. Wonderful. I appreciate that. You know, I'm a married man. You are the man. God loves you, my friend. God loves all of us, G Money, but thank you. Get out of my country. Ha! What country do you live in, Bew? You're probably one of them like goat fuckers, ain't you? Yeah, that was lazy trolling. That guy should lose his troll card. I know you're married, have a girlfriend. I'm just, dude, Mr. Wonderful. I'm playing with you. Come on now. USA, Mississippi. Well, that explains the IQ. Ha! Here's the thing, man. Unless you served in one of our armed forces, you have no business telling me anything. And I would even go so farther to say that you come visit me in Vegas and we could have a talk about it in person. You gotta change your clothes, bro, not the look. Swipe up, buddy. Looking's free, but touching will cost you. I'm gonna shake it for you. Look at those quads. Hell yeah, my chicken legs. I don't know why people say I have chicken legs. I guess they're not super big, but they can squat 3 times my body weight or half of your mom's ass. Sitting down, you look like you're wearing a onesie. Well, I will be in competition. Have you seen a singlet? Do you see what we wear in competition? It's sexy. I thought about wearing it tonight. You know, it's funny. We can compete in singlets and nobody says anything. But if you wear shorts in the gym, that's a problem. Have you guys seen Marine Corps Silkies? What they issue you in boot camp? Those are my favorite shorts, by the way. Did you ever pull duty at ECP with the ECP at your forward operating base on deployment? No. No, Stephen, I was with Romeo Battery, 5th Battalion, 11th Marines. We were with the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit. I forgot what Army Brigade we got attached to. The call sign was Red Dragon. God damn it. Oh, it was really, you know what's cool about it? So check this shit out. We were right about where Camp Commando is. I want to say it was at 20 miles north of the Iraq border, somewhere around there. And maybe, 30 miles. Overnight, we were in position. We had our guns set up, and all this equipment came in. It looked like heavy mobile, like tractors and shit. And when I woke up in the morning, it was MLRS. It was an MLRS battery, and we got Avenger Humvees. I never saw those before. I never seen an Avenger Humvee before, so that was kind of cool. And there was a first sergeant, Army. He gets out of one of the MLRS rocket launcher, well, multi-launch rocket, MLRS, multi-launch rocket system. And it turns out he was the father of one of the FDC Marines, Corporal Bayless. So then we had a family reunion, and it was the coolest fucking thing in the world. So these two, they had no idea that they were going to run into each other. Sons in the Marines, dad's in the Army. No one knows where anybody is. A random family reunion. Now we're really cool with the Army guys. It was fucking awesome. We wound up having a big ass barbecue. It was bitching. Well, by barbecue, I mean heated T-rats. You know. It was pretty fucking bitching. That was a fucking cool moment. Singlets need to be modified. They need to be tighter in the crotch region. I'll tell you what, when I train next, I'll wear it. My phone died. Oh, bummer, dude. My wife had pterodactyl leg 2. Oh, yeah. I'm 48 and getting back into lifting. Any advice? Well, Christian, let me ask you. I'm 50, incidentally. What experience with barbell training do you have at the age of 48? Let me ask you that. And do you have any issues with mobility, any major injuries? Wife kicked me straight for a bit. Which way you leaning, sleeves or wraps? I'm going to wear these sleeves. I was telling the guys, these are the Helix sleeves. And I was showing the guys the differences. Like these are just like Gym Reapers. They're all the same thickness. These are all competition legal. And these are just like these are my light duty ones that I wear just to warm the joints up. And you know, I got my knees have arthritis. And I'm 50 years old. You're gonna have a little joint pain. Put these on, goes away. It's awesome. Doesn't really do much for advantage though. No mechanical advantage with these. These are just great for just mobility and stuff. Then you got your standard SBD sleeves. These are pretty much industry standard competition sleeves that are pretty much agreed upon by most powerlifters to be the way to go. These are twice the density, same thickness, twice the density, and there's enough rebound in the stretch where it will actually give you 5 pounds on your squat. We'll say it does give you a little bit of mechanical advantage. Comfortable to wear. You can wear them all competition. You don't have to take them off. They won't cut your circulation off. Great. These are the Helix sleeves. These are the same thickness, 4 times the density. There's no stretch at all. They're uncomfortable. They hurt. They're stiff, and these will absolutely give you mechanical advantage. How much weight will you put on your squat with wearing these? I don't know, but they're awesome. The only thing is, you can't wear them all competition. They cut your circulation off. Your feet will turn blue. They're impossible to get on. They're really hard to get off, especially if you have a little bit of sweat. You got to almost cut them off, for Christ's sake. I hate them, but they're absolutely the best for competing. They're either, I've tried the Inzer sleeves, I've tried legal competition. The only thing, this is the last step with sleeves before you wrap. So I decided I'll just go with these bad boys, and we're just gonna let it ride. You guys gotta check Spencer's page out. This guy is an animal, and he's super intelligent, really awesome lifting, especially if you guys are, trying to rehab or you have imbalances, coming back from injuries. Right here, I've checked his channel out, and I'm here to tell you, I'm already trying to incorporate some of your, especially your posterior chain movements. I'll be mimicking a lot of your movements because it's all good stuff. My wife just had hip surgery. Obviously, I had the back and hip injuries, and we're always looking for ways to improve mobility, strengthen up all those support muscles. And Spencer's page is legitimate. You guys got to check him out. Spencer Grazzano. Blue Dirty. Let's see. One-arm pull-ups versus one-arm push-ups. I can do one-arm push-ups all day. One-arm pull-ups are almost impossible. I don't think I could do one. Maybe if I held on, I could do that cheating one where you hold onto your wrist. I think pull-ups are largely dependent on body weight. You see these guys, and they're doing all those weird muscle ups and flipping around. And I'm not saying big guys can't do it, especially if you train that. But you see a 160-pound guy doing these really awesome movements like the flag poles and stuff. Is it really reasonable to expect someone that's 220, 240, 280 to just be able to, to weight to strength ratio, and the heavier you get, the harder it is to do those movements. I'm not saying they can't be done. Oh, thank you, Spencer. Absolutely. Drop a leg if you haven't already. So, all right, here we go. Set 2, 550. We got 545 in the bank. Gotta get my head right. 545 moved really well, Spencer. I had no issues with it. Hit depth fine. We added 5 pounds. We got to go. Give me a second. I'm going to use the little boy's room real quick. And we're going to hit this. All right. Shit, I got so much crap in the way. I do my belt. All right, here we go. I try to wait like 10 minutes in between sets, but I get to talking to you guys, and I got to be really careful. The most important question for everyone in the chat: front to back or back to front? Front to back. 260, and I use a bidet too. I got a little sprayer. If you must know. All right. I rose garden. Hell yeah. I started earlier, probably from the back. BKL. What's your max? I haven't maxed out in a while, Mike, but based on the math, I'm right around 650. So here right now I got 550 on the bar, and I got to hit it for a triple. Rich guy, what's up? So let's do this. So when you do a squat in these, it kind of pulls them down a little. I like them fresh. We just did it. No, well, yeah. Ow! A little tight in here. One more set to go. 550. So next set is 555. All right, let me set a timer here. So it goes up right about there. So 10 minutes. Okay. Thank you. Seem like a cool guy. Thanks, Jack. Yeah, I'm an open book. I don't care. I just want good people to have good information, you know what I mean? And people are like, you're on steroids. Well, yeah, but it's not that simple. Like, I try to get past the contempt prior to investigation. Like, the first question I ask is, when you accuse someone of being on steroids, what is the image you have in your mind about what they're doing to themselves? Like, what is it you think they're doing? And like taking these huge syringes of horse jizz and, or, you know what I mean? Like, you get online and you see rich pianists stack and you think everybody does that, or, you know, it's very nuanced and everything's under the direction of a doctor, or the guidance of a doctor, rather. Uh-oh, my wife said tri-tip. That means the steak's ready. It smells good, babe. Yeah, trends. Like, so I mean, dude, I'm 50. I don't do trend. Are you kidding me? But there's hundreds of compounds that do hundreds of different things, and you know, under the direction of a doctor, you can stay reasonably safe. There's a risk to everything, but it's like I try to get past the misconception and have like adult conversations about it. But a lot of people, they have their minds made up already. You know, they have this idea it's like good or bad or whatever. I don't think anything's good or bad. I think that it's a tool that you can use, and if you misuse it, it can kill you. just like any tool. Spencer, from what I remember, you squat where it feels comfortable in training, and I haven't had a problem sinking depth on meet day. No, well, that's not true, Spence. When I went to Worlds, they judged it way. The IPL was way stricter than the USPA was. So my first squat, I thought I buried, and they red lighted me, and I was like, shit, man, I don't know what to do. Like, that's as deep as I can go. Luckily, I dug deep, and I got my second attempt, and it was good for 580, 590. Since then, I make sure, and as we get closer to competition, I'm going to start filming from the side, and we're going to start running my squats through the barbell tracker. This is the last volume day I have, and I want to, that's when I'll get fine-tuned. And my buddy's coming in from town. He's one of my old teammates. He's a Marine too, and we will be running like through a tune-up to make sure that the form's good, everything's good to go. But no, only with the exception of that one competition, I've never had an issue hitting depth in competition. All you have to do is get your crease right below the knees, which is still pretty deep if you think about it. So, here's this to the top of the knee. Here's the crease right here. This has to get below it. So that's still a pretty deep squat. So people that say that powerlifting squats aren't deep, they are. They're actually deeper than you think they would be. I did a video on that. I did a video on one where I got called for depth. It was one of my first comeback meets. And it was the strictest judging ever. It was in Vista, California. And I showed the squat, and they red lighted me on the sides. And it looks like I went ass to grass. But the camera was from the front. So the side judges are there looking, and they're looking at your hip crease. They want to see that go below the knee. That's also why you have 3 judges, because if you get one guy that's like, if you get one guy, you're constantly red lighting everybody, someone might talk to him and be like, dude, you're kind of judging a little iffy. But if you get red lighted on both sides, that's 2 different people that agree. And usually the front guy, he can't see your hip crease. So a lot of times he'll give you, a lot of guys will get white lights in the front. That means you're close. You're close. A lot of times you can adjust your depth last minute. If you're having an issue and say you're really, really close, you can move the bar a hair up more on your back, which will sit you back farther. And a lot of times that'll fix it. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, it's tender too.
I did a killer job.
That's tri-tip.
He's fucking good.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, no, I'm not very big. I'm Rich. I compete at 100 kilo. I like to stay at that body weight just because it's a competitive weight, and I want to get the records in it. I've been competing at 220 for so long, but I noticed the heavier I get, the harder it is on my joints. So I did get up to like 230, 240 for a while, but I felt just so my knees hurt all the time. I'm actually thinking about after this meet, I might drop down to like 198 just to lighten up a little bit. Jack asked me what steroids do I take. Currently, I am on testosterone and DHB. And it's a test mix, kind of like Sustanon. Yosef Neezer, love from India. Please tell one of the best base sports for MMA. I'll give you my favorite, Muay Thai. That's what I'm training right now. I go 3 times a week. That's the most fun. Now, a lot of people would argue and say probably ground game, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. I think probably if I had to pick one combat sport over anything, like just for the general purpose of athleticism, self-defense, and everything it brings to the table, I'd say American wrestling, but what do you enjoy? You know, we're not going to become professional MMA fighters. So what do you like doing? You like boxing? Go box. I did boxing for a year, and I got sick of the coach using me as his punching bag to tune his fighters up. Didn't think I was learning anything. F the judge. Especially without short femurs. That's a deep squat. Yeah, and oh, dude, tall guys, man. You know who I really like for content? If you're a taller dude, is Zach Tellender, and obviously like the knees over toes guy. He's pretty long. Those two. Zach Tellender improved my squat. I watched his videos a lot, and he helped me. He gave me a lot of exercises that I use for ankle mobility, ankle and knee mobility, trying to get that heel to be able to touch your butt cheek. Rich guy, what's that in pounds? 100 kilo? Or are you asking my body weight or what's on the bar? My body weight in pounds is 220. I think I weighed myself a couple days ago, and I was like 4 pounds over, but I had all my stuff on. Where's my scale? Let's make sure we're not lying here. See, okay, cool. So it's 223, right? Oh, yeah, 223.2. But, I mean, dude, you fluctuate 5 pounds a day in water weight. But I'm also wearing my shoes and everything. I like to, I'm 3 weeks from competition, and this is actually the closest to my weight limit I've been. Normally I have to do a water cut, 10 pounds, you know, not a big deal. You just, 5 days out, you drink 2 gallons of water a day. 1 day before your fast, you cut out all carbs, sugars, and then the day before your weigh-in, you fast. Everything, no water, nothing. And your body pees all that out, because when you're pounding 2 waters a day, your body gets used to that, and you start going to the bathroom all the time. Well, the theory is if you cut that off real quick, your body still is in that mode of getting rid of all that water. So overnight, you'll piss that body weight away, and as long as you don't add anything to your system, you fast, you can lose up to 20. I know guys that do 30-pound water cuts. I think that's dangerous though, because you know what you have to do is you got to replenish all that. Bob, though, when we competed in Oregon that year, I don't think I did a proper refeed. So the morning after I did my weigh-in, I should have been pounding water and eating donuts and cookies, and we took forever to get food in our system. When we left that place, it was almost noon before I ate anything, and it was just a bad deal. When you weigh in, you should be eating immediately, and then the theory is you come back, you replenish everything that you sweat out all through the night, and you get all that back. You got to fill those cells back up. Do you smoke weed with your steroids? No, I am a recovering drug addict, so I do not take any substances that are mind altering. And I've been sober since 2013. Do 190, carrying all that weight on the joints does work over the years. Oh yeah, I think so. The Traveler Mac, the reason I picked this weight, honestly, is because it's easy for me. I don't have to really try to maintain it. That was 10 minutes. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? It's easy to maintain. Everyone's like, you're so shredded. What do you do for a diet? I'm like, nothing. Nothing. I've been this weight for 10 years. I'm just dialed in. It's, I eat ice cream. I eat pizza. I eat cookies. Mostly clean stuff. I follow the 80-20 rule. 80 good, 20 bad. 80% clean, a baked chicken, broccoli, rice, all the good stuff. Steak, fish, and then 20% ice cream, cookies, tacos, lots of tacos. Oh, thank you, Spencer. I appreciate that. Running into gym streams. Oh, Fleepy, welcome. You're about to see me try to murder myself. I'm gonna attempt to do 555 pounds for a triple. You ever catch a fart in a jar? Crispy Bacon. That's an awesome name. Uh, but well, Josh Tippy's in the house, and okay. Glad you're here, buddy. uh, it's good you're drug free. I hope it stays like that forever. I want to ask you some bodybuilding. I do some bodybuilding with squat, bench, deadlift currently. If you wanted to go into powerlifting, what would you recommend to get started? Dude, you're bodybuilding and you're doing the compound lifts, you're there already. Pick an easy program to start with. Starting strength 5x5, Wendler 531, or any of the ones from Lifting Vault. Like pick a nice 6-month program that focuses on the compound lifts. There's 5 I like to do: squat, bench, deadlift, barbell row, overhead press, and variations of those. Those are your core movements. And then you got to find accessories that are going to carry over to those lifts specifically. Now, when we're done competing, I'll work out much like a bodybuilder. I'll just go and have fun, and I'll lift, and I'll do all the machines, and we'll have a good time, and we'll do conditioning for 3 months. As we get closer to the meet, the lifts get honed down and more specific, and everything has specificity to those 3 lifts. But no, really, dude, I like just do it. Anybody can enter a meet. It doesn't matter what you can lift. And a lot of people, they say, "Well, I don't want to do it until I get to a certain strength." You're never going to be good enough ever. It doesn't matter. And all I wanted to be able to do was bench 225, and as soon as I did that, I saw everyone hitting 315, and then 2 years later, I'm repping 315, and everybody in the gym's hitting 4 plates like it's nothing, and it's like you're never satisfied. So I would say just enter a meet, get the experience under your belt, go meet the people, get involved in the community. You'll love them. They're awesome. They don't care what you can lift. They're glad you're participating. It's just one of those things. You get involved, and the rest takes care of itself. You find a powerlifting gym, you're gonna walk in there and you start doing the lifts, and within 10 minutes, you're gonna meet someone, and you can start training with them, and they're gonna point you in the right direction. If you don't have access to something like that, the reason I like starting strength 5x5 is because it's a simple linear progression program that anybody can follow. And if you're new, beginning to heavy lifting, for a good solid 6 months, it will give you an awesome base. And from there, you can do whatever you want. As much as I can't stand Mark Ripito, he's got a good program. Like, I listen to Mark Ripito and some of the shit that guy says, and I'm just like, sometimes I think, like, personalities like us, we get online and we're lifting and we want to be innovative. We want to be the guy that invents something. A contribution unique to us. Renaissance periodization, Dr. Mike Israetel, Jeff Nippard, the science-based guys. They overcomplicate everything. Just fucking lift. Get a barbell and move some weight around. You'll get better at it. You'll find people that are like-minded. Oh, god damn it. I gotta fucking pee. As soon as I put the belt on and squeeze my abs. Give me a second. drinking too much coffee. Iris Black. I'm doing all right. Bobby, do you make content too? Bobby and I trained together. So Bobby was my training partner for 3 years, and he changed me from volume to something he calls the forever methodology. And it's influenced very heavily by Mike Mentzer's and Arthur Jones' HIT. But I think we did a lot to add to that methodology to make it something that works for more lifters. He could explain it way better than I can. Basically, it's periodization. HIT is awesome, so the one set to failure principle, as opposed to large volume, worked great for me. It put 300 pounds on my total, which, drugs or not, is unheard of for a guy in his late 40s. You just don't do that. So from switching to heavy volume to high intensity, I lowered the overall volume. But there are times when you have to switch to volume blocks, and that's where the program becomes a little tricky, and it's hard to explain. I don't even know if I'm explaining it right, Bob. But it's high intensity training with periodization, essentially. Democrats get triggered, but I say thank you for your service. I appreciate it, Cyrus. I don't give a shit who gets triggered. I'm done with that nonsense. Gotta be able to bench 405, squat 600, and deadlift 818. Damn, what weight class? That's a lot of weight. Josh, you're strong for your age. You're really strong. Iris, what's Iris? Do you speak French? No. Christine, I was looking at your comment. You said, Iris, no, we don't. I'm like, what? What are we talking about here? Parlez-vous français? I know how to say that. Switching between intensity and volume periodization blocks, both intensity and volume. Yeah. No, you don't suck, JT. Josh. I mean, if you want to go by percentages, Josh, most kids, I shouldn't call you kids, most young men your age don't even lift. So you right there, by you just lifting, you're already in the top 2 percentile. And the fact that you have a total that's over 1,200, don't you? You're definitely or maybe are you probably even higher than that? What's your total? Fresno good though. Which guy? You're 15. No, I know you're 15, Rich, but how old's Josh? JT's, are you 18, Josh? Yeah, I haven't tried testing my maxes in a while. Yeah, you guys are killing it, man. You would still be considered a junior until the age of 23. So juniors from, I want to say 14 or 15 is when you're allowed to start competing. I could be wrong. Somewhere in there. All right, let me get my head right, guys. This is my last set. Well, I got to do one. I got to do one deficit set to failure of deadlifts, but that's super easy. Come on, it's only 5 more pounds. Last set, you got this. Once I get the hair starting to stand up on my arms, I know I'm ready. California, into the party. Oh shit. Whew. Damn. Give me a second, I need to get some water. I'll be right back. I still got one exercise to do. All right. Hey, how was my depth on that last set? Well, the last one felt like it was a little high. One of the cues I have to remember when I go heavy is I got to open my hips. I do it naturally at lighter weights, but when I get really heavy, I tense up and I forget sometimes. So if I open my hips up, I hit depth with no problem. But if I don't, I kind of have an impingement that I right about parallel. Thank you, Felipe. Sorry I had to take off on you guys there for a second. Okay, now you guys get to see me take these Helix sleeves off. The reason I don't train in these damn things, they're awesome, but they're horrible. They're impossible to put on. They're impossible to take off. Normally when we buy like sleeves like SBDs, you always get a size smaller because it's way more snug. If you buy these, get the right size. Do not get a size smaller. Okay, so according to the directions, you can't pull them down. You gotta work them a little bit. For my accessory lift, I'm gonna take sleeves off. Oh, it hurts us. Yeah. Oh, thank you, God. One down. Look at that shit. Damn. Okay. And I still gotta get them off my ankles. Oh, this one's coming up a little easier. There we go. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, never mind. I lied. Come on. Do this. See what I'm saying? Oh shit. Fuck. Tearing my hair. If you ever need to rest to take sleeves off, you know they're legitimate. I left a review for Helix, and I was like, what torture device have you? Come on. Oh yeah. Thank you, please. Now you see why I don't train with these. Would I recommend them? It's kind of hard to recommend something that could potentially hurt somebody. But if your goal is to put a little more on your squat, and you want a sleeve that'll do it, Helix. Custom made. Yeah. What about weighted dips and pull-ups? Blah, blah, dada. So, I listed the 5 exercises that are your core exercises: bench, squat, deadlift, overhead press, barbell row, and variations of that. So I don't distinguish between a pendulum row and a dead row. A row's a row. Same thing as like deadlifts. I don't distinguish between sumo, conventional, deficit, stiff leg. It's still a deadlift variation. So when I'm saying deadlifts, I mean all the variations of all the lifts. Weighted dips and weighted pull-ups are what I would put in the category of essential accessories. So if I wasn't competing in the sport of powerlifting, I would actually replace the bench press with weighted dips. I think it's a far superior exercise, and it's you so much more shoulder mobility, and you are balancing your upper body. You can isolate your traps. So there's just so much things you can do with weighted dips. It's just really good for longevity. But for some reason, I cannot get weighted dips to really translate to my bench press. I've tried to aggregate and correlate the data, and over periods of training where I did weighted dips and overhead presses, they didn't really seem to help my bench press that much. So because we're talking about the sport of powerlifting and specifics to that, I tend to stick with exercises that have direct, demonstrable, and repeatable carryover. So for me, it was like the camber bar bench press, or using heavy dumbbells and extending the range of motion, that sort of thing. Instead of skull crushers, I would do close grip bench press because I could overload it and put more weight on it. Things of that nature. So it really comes down to like what works for you. Now I know a ton of guys that do overhead presses and they swear it makes their bench press better. Okay, do them. For me, I didn't seem to it just didn't seem to matter. I could do all the overhead presses I wanted, and my bench never went up. But I still consider it a core staple exercise for the sport of powerlifting because it gives you shoulder health. You want to strengthen your shoulders up and your back and everything. You want to be able to row as much as you can push, if that makes sense. Most people can bench more than they can row, but you want to keep you want that balance. You know, you want to be as strong in one direction as you are in the other. Weighted pull-ups are awesome. You could do just weighted pull-ups and you'll have an amazing back. And all you really need to do is change your grips up a little bit. Ooh. All right. Who's addicted to creating? Probably me. It hurts to ask the cracks and raps. Yeah, I bet it does. Do you think they'd hire you to be Reacher's next antagonist? Oh, that'd be awesome. I wish I could. He's so tall, though. I'd look like a midget. I'm only 5'9", so. All right, I only got one more movement to do. It's an accessory. And it's a big one. Need my computer stand here. There we go. Is We did it, Bob. I did all the sets. That means I'm right on track to hit 650 in competition. Don't feel like it, though. All right. So, let me give you a little background on this lift here. Now, if you go into my video content, you'll see me pulling 710 pounds on the trap bar for a double. You'll see me doing 600 pounds on the regular deadlift bar for what, 4 or 5 reps. You see me pulling pretty significant amounts of weight, but I have, because of the history of my back issues, I've elected to cut deadlift volume down to a 3-to-1 squat to deadlift ratio. So every 3 squat sessions is a deadlift session. And the bulk of my deadlift work is what's called stiff leg deficit pulls with a stretch for the lats. I will demonstrate. So I'm a heavy deadlifter, yet most of the work I do is not heavy weight. It's extreme range of motion. Now, people that suffer from sciatica, people that have had back injuries, this is similar to a Jefferson curl, but we're keeping a core tight and we're stretching at the bottom and we're doing a conventional pull on the way up. So I'm gonna let the weight pull me to my toes and I'm gonna stretch these lats out. But then when I come up, I'm gonna bend the knees and pull up. That way it stays, the eccentric is gonna be a rounded back with a stretch. The eccentric is gonna be posterior chain. That's where I'm gonna lock my core up and pull like a regular deadlift. So it's a really technical lift. But we do this because of the injuries I've had. It's what I had to try to find a ways of lifting that helped to mitigate my pain issues. And I needed to find a way where I could continue to progress on the conventional lift without having to do a super heavy amount of volume. I had to find a way to be easier on my back, essentially. Agent Dark, what's up, brother? Adam Medbar, have you ever tried squatting every day? Yeah, I did that for 6 weeks, and I went right into a powerlifting program, and I did awesome. I think that's when no, it was 4 weeks. It was a 4 week block. I want to say that's when I broke did I get the 620-pound squat that competition? There's one where I attempted a 700-pound squat. And I'm telling you guys, I had it. I went down, and when I was coming up, I slipped a little forward, and I stepped forward, which immediately makes the lift not count. But I got the weight up. I was like, man, I had it. I had it. Could you imagine? When I think I saw you and you sell that orange vacuum. Ha! You saying I'm the Kirby guy? Do you ever get panic attacks? Yes, yes. A certain, I had some things going on in my life, and I suffered from panic attacks, night terrors, pretty severe PTSD, which I mitigated with the use of alcohol and drugs. And I didn't know it was PTSD either, so I was undiagnosed for quite a while, self-medicated. But so I do suffer from depression and anxiety. But the cool thing is like I know this about myself, and I now have tools to help mitigate that. So I'll get depressed. You know, when I get really depressed, sometimes I'll hit a PR, most weight I've ever lifted in my life, and then as soon as I'm done, I get depressed. It's like, like life is meaningless. Like, what's the point of anything? And I don't know what that's about. I don't know if you're just putting so much pressure on your body that your endocrine system just goes for a jog or something. But here's what I'll do. Whenever I get, panic attacks are different, but anytime I get like depression or anxiety, I'll kind of sit in it for a little bit, and I'll just think about what it is that's causing it, and just really try to hone in on it. And then after a little bit, I kick my ass into action. Start doing something, anything, clean the house, lift some weights, help, whatever, get to work. A lot of times, some panic attacks, what I'd want to know is like, are you talking to anybody? You getting help for that? Because if you're suffering from panic attacks, that's an acute reaction. That's an overreaction of your fight or flight system, and it's usually in response to some kind of external stimulus. So it's like, well, what's causing it? What would cause panic attacks? Is that something you are? If you want to talk about it, you can hit me up on Instagram. Peyton, what's up? They give you the tunnel vision, though. Do you think it's possible to pull your own weight on weighted pull-ups in the first year of training? Yeah, hell yeah. How much do you weigh? Well, how much do you weigh? Let's start with that. got blada dada. You know, it's easy to say that if you're 150 pounds. Oh, I missed a comment here. Reacher's antagonist, that big 7 foot, yeah, that huge guy. 210? Yeah, I don't see why not. What do you do for assistance for pull-ups? So one thing I like to do is I like to tie a band around this thing, like a big band that you can step in, and you can use the band to assist your weight, and it just helps pull you up a little bit. The other thing you can do is you can grab the top of it and hold it like 30 seconds and do long eccentrics. Set a timer for 30 seconds and hold that thing, and then do it again. Do like sets of them, sets of 4 or 5. So you'll jump up, you'll get in the up position and hold it. So you want to have something assist you up there, and then you're going to hold it as long as you can. The longer the better. And if you can do those for sets, you're going to cultivate enough strength to do 1 pull-up. And then once you can do 1 pull-up, you are money. You know why? Because you can now do sets of 1. You can do 10 sets of 1. That's what I tell you. If you can do 1 pull-up, do sets of 1. And then after a while, linear progression, you should be able to do 2, and then 3, and then as soon as you can add weight to your body, your pull-ups will explode. I do pull-ups with like 100 pounds. Yeah, between 50 and 100. Sets of 5, we'll say. 5 sets of 5. Well, now, because of that, I could just jump up there and probably rip out 30 pull-ups if I had a gun to my head. Really easy. At 220 pounds, 50 years old, you know. If I kip, I could do way more. You know, if you use bodybuilding, you know, you throw yourself up there. I could, like, what do they call those? The stupid CrossFit pull-ups. I could do like 1,000,000 of them fucking things. Those don't count, though. Don't do that shit. Do nice and slow and controlled. You look like a retard doing CrossFit. Surprise and Royal Rumble. You know who I'm a really big fan of Eric Bugenhagen. All right, guys. I'm going to do 1 set light, and then I'm going to load her up. So for these, you can bend over to get the starting position. But essentially, what we want to do is we're going to arch our back, starting with the shoulders. And I'm going to let this pull me to my toes. And then I'm going to bend my knees and pick her up. So down, stretch, 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 tighten, shoot up. Down, stretch, 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 stretch. Bend the knees tight, pull up. Boom. And then people are like, oh, you're gonna hurt your lower back. You know, you're working your lower back, dumbass. You don't hurt muscle. You're lifting to train your lower back. You're gonna hurt your back by working it out? What are you talking about? And people see like extreme range of motion, and the first thing they think is like, oh, you're gonna hurt yourself. Why? Let me hear your scientific reasons as to why I'm gonna hurt myself. No, look, anytime you see me do an extreme lift, if you were to copy me and just throw a bunch of weight on there and be like, hey, I'm going to do it, well, yeah, start light. You know, start with something safe. Holy shit, the wind's picking up. That's God's way of telling me to hurry my ass up. God damn, that was awesome. I did all 3 sets of those squats. That's the most volume at that weight that I've done in over a year. Nay, for if you wear short shorts. Nair, doesn't that shit burn you though? Doesn't it like melt the hair off of you? Can you imagine? They do have a razor. Bzzz, I'm sure it would work on your tenders. Ouch. I don't know if I'm gonna. I got a little tendonitis, babe, from when I'm holding the barbell. Give me a second, guys. Oh man, we got a windstorm coming in. This is a big problem in Vegas. The wind kicks up and it can really, really do some damage. I might have to button everything up here. Oh, incidentally, I use this to pry my sleeves off. These aren't toy swords. They're actual legitimate practice swords. I bought for the kids. They're designed to take. You can hit with them. Like a what do they call it? Like a Bakken or Shine or what's the bamboo ones called? Yeah, the wind's coming in hard, babe. We just it seemed like it slowed down there, but it blew all the stuff off the side of the house. I'm gonna have to pick those. I hate the wind out here. You can have this, like, you spend money and get nice canopies, and put up a really nice, you can buy those nice tents that you stick up, and you can make a nice little seating area in your backyard. Not in Vegas. You got to spend the money, and you got to build a really solid structure. It needs to be permanent. You can't play around with umbrellas and stuff. I don't know how many times I've woken up in the morning to find all of our shit in the pool. I wish I knew where my straps were. Let me see if I can find my figure eights. Oh, damn, I found a lot of goodies, though. I found a bunch of our ace bandages, babe. I need to clean my garage. Where is all of my stuff? I don't know what I did with them. We got so much stuff. I got pads for the kids. I got wrist wraps for boxing gloves, headgear. Oh, you know what, babe? I'm not allowed to spar tomorrow unless I get knee pads. Yeah, should I show up with my military ones? Like the ones we wear when we kid up and go to the rifle range? Oh, shit. What did I do to the goddamn thing? Well, looks like we have to go without it. Oh, wait, here's one of them. Boxing gloves. Isn't this exciting? Let's watch a jackass look for equipment. I literally have one exercise to do. I'm a little sore in here from you get like a little tendonitis from the torque that the barbell puts on you. So by using straps, I can just hook my hands to the bar, and I don't really have. It just takes the pressure off of it. But I don't know what the hell I did with them. You know what? I guess I could just use one strap. Yeah, that works. I'm trying to find my straps. YA. See, there we go, J-Mac. First one. Ding, ding, ding. You're the winner, J-Mac. Idiot of the day. So, in your profound wisdom, please explain to me how I'm going to blow my back out. In, let's say, medical detail. I know my wife wants her back blown out, but that's after we're done lifting. J-Mac, explain, bestow upon us your profound wisdom as to how a physical therapy lift that I use to fix my back is going to blow it out. Taking back shots from a BBC, that's actually a good one. I like you. I know, Steven, it's like, I don't know, I haven't been like training at a high level for 10 years straight. What the fuck would I possibly do? Like I definitely try to purposely hurt myself every time I lift. BBC is like the British news. Yeah. No, you don't want to understand the slang. Let's keep it that way. That shows an innocence, and we appreciate that too. I have a daughter, so. we try to keep it family friendly, but we'll dance on the edge sometimes. No, but Jane Mac, all joking aside. So we were joking about, and it's like I was saying how usually when I perform this lift or some of the other lifts that I do that are extreme range of motion, I always get comments about how I'm going to hurt myself, and I'm like, I mean, if you break the lift down, what do we do? You're going to hurt your back by working your back out? Okay. Like, that doesn't make sense, but, you know, so my top end deadlift's like 680, 685. That's 275 on the bar right now. Now what I'm doing is stiff leg deficit pulls, but I'm also incorporating like a Jefferson curl. So the platform is high enough that I can touch my toes with the bar, and I'm going to allow it to stretch my lats at the end. I want a really big back stretch. But then that's for the eccentric. When I pull up, I'm going to tighten everything up, and I'm going to so basically on the way down, Jefferson curl, you're arching, you stretch. But then on the way up, you're going to bend your knees, and then you're going to lock and pull like a regular deadlift. And now, why would I do that? Well, I had back surgery, and I had 48 stitches across my L5 and a microfracture in that disc. Or in the, not the disc, but the actual bone segment. Sciatic nerve issues. This helps relieve the repetitive motion stress that's accumulated by heavy squatting, deadlifting, etc., which contributes to sciatica. You're going to get a tight piriformis, your rectus femoris is going to get stretched out, all that stuff gets, your IT band you could probably use as a trebuchet, your hamstrings are super tight. This does all that, stretches all those segments out and pulls your back nice, but it's a controlled movement. It's not a beginner movement. I would start with something simple like Romanian deadlifts, stiff leg deadlifts, and then from there it's a progression. Once I've stretched that back out at the end, that's when I want to kind of lock everything in, and now I'm pulling with my posterior chain and my hamstrings. So everything's stretching it out, then we tighten up and spring back up again. And it is I would say an intermediate to advanced lift, but it's one that does wonders. You get a lot of the benefits that you would get from an inversion table, but you're also adding hypertrophy to it. So think of it as a dynamic stretch, which by definition is any stretch that has resistance training, like Pilates versus yoga. You watching Arnold's tomorrow? I never watch it live just because isn't it here in Vegas? I wonder if I can go to it. Probably not. No, I don't know where they're having it this year. I never watch them live. It's too boring. But I'll usually I do like watching the recaps and the highlights. I like to keep up with it, if that makes sense. And if they have them here in town, we like to go to the conventions and check it out, because you get to meet everybody. Like I met like Jay Cutler and Rich Piana. And usually the USPA has, like at the Olympia, when they have it here in Vegas, the USPA has a powerlifting event. So they do like the world's strongest bodybuilder, that kind of thing. Stan Efferding got that award one year, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Bodybuilders are fucking weird though. Most of them are super nice, super accommodating, but then you get this small group of with infantile egomaniacs that want to act like they solve all their problems by fighting. Like the Joey Stacks strength cartel types. Dude, you're a grown-ass man. Why are you acting like a 12-year-old? It's like, they're fucking weirdos. There's going to be one in Columbus, Ohio, March 17th. Damn, man, I'll be competing on the 15th. I'm going to try to live stream, but if I can't live stream, I'll give you guys the platform and the address where they're going to be streaming it. So they'll stream my competition. It's going to be a pretty small competition this year. I think we only have about 60 to 100 lifters. So there's a good chance I could finish with the highest total again, like I did last time. My max deadlift is 110, and I had to train like 2 months for that. So my wife is the one who's addressing you about that, and she can attest that that's pretty good. Dude, I would say that's outstanding. 110 pounds in 2 months? And here's the thing. This is what I'll tell everybody. Unless you're trying to compete, or you just want to be one of those guys that likes to lift heavy and beat your numbers. There's plenty of dudes like that. There's really no benefit in trying to deadlift 4 times your body weight. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool if you're that type and you can get those records and you have that drive. as I do, as a lot of my friends do, we're all psycho. We all suffer from body dysmorphia. We all have some sort of mental issues, like whatever the reason is, it helps us to be normal or whatever that means. But if you're just trying to be healthy, you want to look good, you want to be strong, you know, try to shoot for, I would say, most women, if you can deadlift your body weight, dude, you're killing it. Most guys, I would say 2 times their body weight. If they can squat 2 times their body weight, if you can bench press 1.5 times your body weight. For women, I would say you should probably be able to bench press your body weight. I don't see a reason why you can't do that. I know there's people that are heavier than others and whatever, but you know, strength is relative. The bigger you are, the more you can lift, generally speaking. But you know, it's like, yeah, you know, we're lifting for longevity. We're lifting to look good. We're lifting to have fun, and it's just like there's always someone stronger, man. Like last year when I was 49 years old, I was still competing in the 40 to 49, and I had to go up against this psycho beast named Vasyl Gustarev, who in the same weight class as me, a year or two younger. I think he's 47 at the time. He weighed 260 pounds, and this crazy Russian did a water cut and somehow made weight at 220, and then the next day looked like a 260-pound man again, and he had an 800-pound deadlift, and he had an almost 500-pound bench, and I did beat his squat, though, so that's cool. I got him on one lift. But it's like, the point, what point am I trying to make? There's always somebody stronger. This year is the first time in my life, at the age of 50, that I am legitimately the only person to beat at IPL Worlds or Nationals. I'm gonna have nobody. I'm number one in the world, and I'm gonna kill at this competition. And I'm gonna put a big gap between me and the next lifters. And all I had to do was turn 50 and not lose any strength. Gen X Power, I have a question about hitting a PR on my bench. Can you help? Yes. But, Austin, I would need to know a little bit about you first. Let's see. Christina, do you have any tips? Oh, yeah, you're talking to the right person. She's super knowledgeable. She's my training partner. She's my wife. She's the love of my life, and she's largely responsible for this gorilla monkey you see in front of you. Yeah, Vladimir, yeah. So, Austin, back to you. I don't know what your training is. I don't know how many times a week you bench. I don't know what your volume is. I don't know what your bench looks like. Without knowing a thing about you, there's 2 things that you can do that will instantly increase your maxes across the board, and that's adding tempo. What is that? I don't know if you saw me do squats, but if you noticed on the way down, I did like 1, 2, 3, and then shot out of the hole. Obviously, with 550 pounds on my back, shooting out of the hole doesn't look that fast, but that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to accelerate as fast as possible. So on the bench press, that's going to look like a 3 count, a 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to fire off like you're trying, literally like you're trying to push someone off of you. You want to accelerate that weight. So now we've added tempo, we need to look at frequency. Are you trying to max out every week? Are you stuck at a certain weight and you're just trying to hit it? You know, what are you trying to grind out at the top end every week, or what does your volume training look like? So I can get the first 2 and the third 2, but I usually smell my own wet fart and it gives me an extra push. It's much cheaper than pre-workout. Nice. Training 315 on a 1 rep, but I run out of energy on the last. So let's see. I'm trying to hit 315 pounds on a 1 rep, but I run out of energy on the last rep. 3 rep max. Oh, okay. Would you consider yourself a tiered celebrity? If so, A to Z ranking. Oh, I don't know. In the powerlifting world, I'm actually really well known. So you're trying to 315 for 3 reps, but you're tanking the last rep. So there's a couple things you can try. One is forced reps. You can get a spotter, and if you guys see my wife spot me, you know I get stuck in that last rep. How can a 140-pound woman pull a 400-pound weight off of a dude? How can she possibly spot me? Well, it's simple. She doesn't need to lift that much weight. All she needs to do is take a little bit of pressure off, and I finish the rest of the rep. That's called a forced rep. That does two things. That allows me to get that last rep in and get that little bit of work. You can have somebody help you with forced reps. You could do sets like that. Get to your sticking point and have them just push enough through. I mean, think about it. Like when you're picking groceries up, you can pick 20 pounds up just with your hands. So you could put just enough pressure on that barbell to just get you through that sticking point. And that's the same principle that the slingshot's using. The other thing you can do is the tried and true method of dropping the weight down to say 95%, 90% of your one rep max, which would be what, 300, 305, and doing sets to failure at that rep range. That is the way I would go with. Whenever I hit a plateau where I can't push anymore, I drop down to 2 to 5% and I focus on that rep range. And that usually gets me over the hump. So you're going to add, basically, you're going to drop the weight, add more volume, and do that for about 4 weeks. Take a deload, come back, hit your max. Does that make sense? You picking up what I'm putting down? Did that make sense to anybody, or was that all word salad? You're such a wife guy. I love to see this world full of old ball and chain jokes. No, man. If anything, it's the other way around. No, she's my, she has hip surgery, so she's in the bedroom right now watching the stream, and she's my managing moderator. Helps me out immensely, and the other thing I like having her on the stream for is because she's a biology major, and she has a really extensive knowledge of the human body, so while I'm lifting, she's able to accommodate people and help with really good information, so we make a really good team. Since she's beginning her physical therapy journey right now, you're going to see us doing a lot of the things that we've been talking about. Like, she's living it. She literally just got hip surgery, so you guys are going to see that process. I would say she's a couple weeks out from going to the gym regularly. We've gone once or twice, and she's doing physical therapy, but it's baby steps, you know what I mean? Like, hip surgery is no joke. I mean, it really just kind of screws you over. There's nothing you can do. You can't drive a car. What are you going to do? Even if you could hit the brakes and the gas pedal, what if you had to slam on the brakes because there's an emergency? You just tore everything again. Now you're screwed. So it sucks, man. But and me being the way I am, I want to push her, and I'm always like, hey, let's go work out, let's go train, and you know, she's in an immense amount of pain a lot of times, and it's hard for me because I'm like, you know, I've had some really severe crippling injuries where I had to learn to walk again, so I understand like what it is. And I'm a psycho, and I'm like, let's go, you can work something out. If your legs don't work, your arms work fine. But it's like, no, everything's hip related. Even sitting up to do curls, just bending over to pick them up, you know, it's like, it sucks. She's got a little bike she can sit on where she can pedal, and she's got a little stair stepper we bought her, which actually I like. I might start using it. We got an inversion table. I'm going to break out the bench that's got the little leg curl thing. She'll be able to start using that here pretty soon. Baby steps. All right, this is my last set. So we did super heavy squats, 555 pounds for a triple, 545, 550, and 555. 3 sets of 3. Now I'm doing this little physical therapy lift as kind of an icing on the cake. And I'm fried, dude. My legs I'm sore right now. Ooh. Gotta hurt my ankle though. I hope you guys all come back. You guys get to see that process. 35-pound dumbbells, incline bench, good for a 10-year-old. Hell if I know. I ain't training 10-year-olds. Let's see, my son is 13 and he can do 180. I think at that age, it's really like genetics. Like if you're either a kid that's strong or you're not. You know, they're not putting 10-year-olds through like strength training protocols, you know. All right. But yeah, from what I've seen, most kids my son's age, it's largely dependent on size. So, you know, he can do 180, but his big meathead friend can do 250. And he's like, I'm stronger than you. And I'm like, yeah, but you're a fat ass, though. It's like, I jab at him, like, don't be picking on people. I cannot. I don't think I touched a weight until I was a Marine. I didn't have weights at home. No, that's not true. In high school, I played football. We did some weight training. A lot of like leg press machines, though, or stuff like that. A lot of leg stuff. I remember, like, I thought it was really cool that they had this standing leg press, and I could max the whole thing out. But I was 4'11", so all the big guys made fun of me because they're like, "Oh, you can only do it because you're short," and that's like as low as the machine would go. And I'm like, "You fucking assholes! You can't let somebody have something, can you?" And that's how kids are. They're vicious. They're brutal to each other. It mans you up for life, though. That's why I think everybody should join the military. I think that's like a good experience for most young men. You get to see the world in a controlled environment that's going to teach you discipline and commitment. All right, guys. I'm going to both get some meat and try to give some. Holy shit, is that my other strap? Are you kidding me? There's no way it was right in front of me this whole time. Or was this the one I was wearing? Alright, guys. I love y'all. I had a really good time tonight. We had some good conversations. Hopefully it's helped somebody. If nothing else, at least maybe you got a laugh out of it, even if it's at my expense. I love you guys. Steven, Semper Fi. Bobby, thank you for your service. Everybody who served in the military, thank you for your service, and you're welcome for mine. I love you guys. I will see you on the battlefield.